Hi there, I'm Gloria Makarenko. Join us as we take a peek inside kitchens all up and down the coast. This is Our Vancouver. Coming up, let's dig into Filipino heritage and culture through food. And an incredible story of family from way down deep. But first, a celebrity chef way up high on the seas of the West Coast.
I'm Robert Clark. As a chef, I have spent my entire career in the pursuit of sustainable seafood.
I'm Carmen Ruiz-Ilaza. As a consumer, I've made sourcing local Canadian seafood my mission. Rob and I are going to take you on a journey. We're going to meet the men and women that bring the sea to our tables.
That's from a new television series. It's called Your Nation's Table. And this is kind of a deep dive into the heart of BC's seafood scene. And after just one season, it's already up for 5 award nominations. And its co-host is none other than celebrity chef Robert Clark.
Celebrity?
You are a celebrity chef. Come on.
Okay.
I get to say it. I get to say it as well. So this is so cool to see. This is your next great adventure. You worked in some of the top kitchens, and you've owned your own restaurants, and now you're out on the seas. You're shooting television. How did all this come about?
Well, I think for me, it's the natural evolution to the next step. At some point, you get too old to be working in kitchens all the time, and I've always been an advocate for sustainable seafood. And this is another, shall we say, platform or a potential platform to get the messaging out to Canadians, to the viewers, and connecting people to their food source. I think is very important. Sustainability is much more than just seafood. So expanding, I mean, we need to talk about food sovereignty, food security. And I think a big key or a big part of that is getting Canadians to really understand where their food comes from and how it's processed.
Yeah, but in the process, you're also eating some amazing fresh seafood. I mean, that's
and going to some amazing places.
Okay, amazing places like my hometown,
like Rupert,
Prince
like
Rupert.
Prince
Okay,
Rupert.
Let's talk about the Dungeness crabs of Prince Rupert.
Oh, that's a huge one. Yeah, nice big one.
Oh my God!
What?
I just threw $112 off board. Magnificent.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're sweet, they're succulent. Dungeness crab is wonderful from anywhere up or down the coast, but I think maybe the stuff out of Rupert is my new favorite anyway.
I'm with you. So what's that like then? You connect with some locals up there, you go out on a fishing trip, but for you and from the episodes that I've seen, it's really about keeping things simple.
Well, I've always been simple. No, it's not. For me, I get wrapped up in I've always been connected to the fishermen and to the source. But it's seldom when I've never had the opportunity to be on a gooey duck boat before. I mean, that was a revelation for me. I've never, it's just getting me, as a chef, I always wanted to get closer to the producer. And this is just another extension of that. Even though I'm not necessarily taking it back and serving it in the restaurant, I'm exposing it to my fellow Canadians.
Well, and your love for what it is that you're catching and preparing is so obvious. And you're working alongside Carmen Ruiz-Ilaza.
Yeah, well, she's doing all the heavy lifting. Okay. She's the professional. I'm kind of there along for the ride.
Right.
And enjoying it now.
You are?
Yeah. No, it's incredible. It's just, I mean, you go to a grocery store, nobody's smiling. Everybody's just shopping, right? You go to a farmer's market, everybody's talking and smiling. Go down to a dog, it's even more magnified when you're actually with the producers. It's just beautiful. Their stories, their life stories are phenomenal. There's so many different people from so many different walks of life that actually participate in producing our food. I mean, it's just special. It's
Okay,
just
what
really
other?
special.
You talked about first time being on a geoduck fishing vessel, the Dungeness crabs in Prince Rupert. Any other highlights? I mean, I think there was a great one about spot prawns.
Spot prawn was probably, I mean, talking to people tell me like that was one of our better episodes. I mean, I've been connected to the spot prawn situation for
You've
for
brought them
20
into
years.
our studio several times, I
Yeah,
believe.
You know, and it's, I mean, it's, I live and breathe it. So that one was probably the most natural one for me to do, and it was our inaugural one. And it was just natural, but it was easiest for me, so it was the least special of them all, because it was just old hat type stuff. So I wasn't getting wrapped up in the moment as much as I did with some of the other species that we got to work with. I mean, albacore, tuna, like all these things, they're just, we produce such good food here in British Columbia, and I just want everybody to be exposed to it and to be able to have an opportunity to appreciate it.
Right. Well, you seem very much in your element. I mean, it's so beautifully shot. The segments aren't so long and plodding. They're sort of bringing out the best in what we've got here in BC as well. But how do you feel about getting this kind of attention right out of the starting gates? I mean, 5 award nominations for a Leo.
I've always been very, it's the people that are surrounding me, right? Like, it's not, everybody goes, oh, you did this, you did that. It's people that, I'm smart enough to surround myself with professionals and with people with talent and vision and dedication. And on the show, it's no different, whether it's Mark, the producer, or Carmen, my co-host, like holding my hand going, Robert, you need to do this, or they view that. Like, it's amazing what these people do. And I'm fortunate that I'm actually a part of it, and I'm glad to be a part of it if it's actually getting the messaging through. That if we're touching Canadians, I'm happy, because I don't belong on TV and I don't belong on a boat. I get seasick. I have no business on a boat whatsoever. But I'm there for the cause, for the bigger picture.
Oh, well, we're lucky to have you for sure. Okay, where can people see some of these episodes?
YouTube is where...
YouTube.
YouTube,
Okay.
Yep, Joy TV.
Okay.
I don't really follow the schedules, but they repeat them
Right.
Periodically through the season. But YouTube, yeah, just Google Your Nation's Table. And
Okay. Well, the critics are
Strap
obviously
yourself in.
loving it so far. Is there going to be a season 2? And
we're
where
working
could
on,
that
actually,
take
this
us?
weekend we're going to film a couple of more episodes in the Okanagan.
Okay.
This weekend.
Taking us inland.
Taking it, well, yes. I mean, it's important to understand. For me, it's for something greater than television or
Yep.
entertainment
Yep.
or. This foray is to demonstrate that it doesn't matter where you live in any particular country, i.e. Canada, that how you farm or how you live or your choices that you make wherever you live affect the ocean. Everything you do at some point affects the ocean, and I think we're going to have a great show on how, farming can have a positive effect. on the
Okay, but are you seeing bigger things, bigger possibilities for this? Or are you just taking this one episode at a time? Because, I mean, this could go across the country
There's,
and beyond.
Beyond, yeah. I mean, we're very fortunate the start we have.
Yes,
And we're
yes.
thrilled about the nominations and stuff. And if it resonates, I mean, you're popular because you're authentic, right? I'm hoping that people see our show as it's just authentic, and we're just telling a story the best we can, and if it's something you're interested in, you support that.
Well, it obviously comes from the heart. It's wonderful to check in on Robert Clark's next great adventure, and thank you again for coming in.
It's always a pleasure, Gloria, always.
Hi, my name is Amin. We're at Kitts Beach, and this is Our Vancouver.
You know, you're never too old for a bike ride. That's the motto of a North Vancouver group called Pilots for Cycling Without Age. And they help seniors enjoy rides through forests on the North Shore. And our Margaret Gallagher spoke to one guide who says he does it to bring joy to his passengers.
I'm Rose Samaniego, and I'm the chairman of Cycling Without Age North Shore. Cycling Without Age is a volunteer-driven program to take people for a ride in a three-wheeled bicycle like this one here, which is basically a couch on wheels.
Ooh, this is nice and warm.
And we are currently sitting outside the Berkeley Care Residence, where we provide rides every 2 weeks. And there's a beautiful trail through the forest that we like to use. The kids got 2 seats up front with safety belts to make sure that people stay in place and don't get injured during our rides. We have an electric motor driving us to help us get up the hills in North Vancouver and to make riding very pleasant for the pilots. Safety is really important to us. We ride slowly. It's not about speed, it's about enjoying the journey. Oh, look at the dogs. Hey. Hello, dog. Hello. Being a pilot is a very rewarding experience because you get to see the joy you bring to people. And riding the trails here, particularly the one in through the forest, is a Zen-like experience. Just very quiet, slow, and beautiful in the beauty of nature, and you enjoy it together with your passengers.
Welcome, ladies.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
All right, it's time to check out some of your amazing photographs. We're going to feature a few of them every week on the show. Let's start with this one. This brilliant little yellow warbler staring right back at Richard Topping as he captured his image in Richmond earlier this month. Just lovely. And Amanda Nelson captured this image near Clinton. She said swarms of clear-wing hummingbird moths were gathering around the lilac bushes. Just amazing. And finally, a nest full of baby barn swallows singing for their supper. Thanks so much to Norm Stack for this delightful image. Now, we couldn't possibly include all of your beautiful photographs, but please keep them coming. It's really easy. Go out with your camera, identify some of your favorites, and send them by email to us at bcphotos@cbc.ca. bcphotos@cbc.ca. Now, a team of Canadian scientists has just returned from an expedition off Vancouver Island. The group says it made unprecedented discoveries, all surrounding deep sea exploration.
The exploration went off Vancouver Island and Haida Gwaii, far offshore, about 100 kilometers at a minimum, and then deep kilometers into the ocean. So it wasn't just me, it was an entire team which included the co-managing First Nations of the Marine Protected Areas, the Government of Canada, and then we actually brought in and leaned heavily into the international science community too. So the main focus of this expedition was to learn as much as we can about our deep sea, essentially discovery, with the aim to best understand and protect these special areas. I'm not going to throw shade to the other coasts of Canada, but none of these exist in the Arctic. None of them exist in the Atlantic of Canada. This is a BC phenomenon. Hidden mountain ranges of underwater volcanoes, hot springs like hydrothermal vents. We have cold seeps. So we have this mosaic of habitats that are hidden below the waves that don't usually occur in such high densities, don't usually occur together, but that we fortunately have off our coast, really close to land. On this expedition, we definitely discovered species new to science. We got to spend a couple hours on the seafloor with this small, beautiful purple octopus who was sitting on her eggs for at least 4.5 years. It's actually the world record for longest gestation of any animal. You could see the little eyes of the octopus peering out through the eggs. And this mom, while completely emaciated because the last meal she had was 5 years before, she was actually with her arms fending off the larger than her king crabs that were coming in, knowing that she was nearing the end of her life. But she was successfully fighting them off because she would not let go of that rock until she felt her young hatch from underneath her. And then when they were safe, she would let go, and then the crabs would get their meal and the young would be safe. And we got to see that play out for the first time ever documented on film. And let me tell you, there was not a dry eye on that boat. That experience went beyond science because it's something we can all relate to. Keeping your young safe, keeping the predators at bay, and sacrifice. And it's the personal connections that we can make between people and animals that will move people to make conscious decisions about what happens to the deep. You know, I recognize the science, I recognize the usefulness of it, but on a personal level, it touched me in that way too. And that's how I knew that we were seeing something that was really going to move people.
Coming up, Johanna Wagstaff explains how food production and greenhouse gases feed into each other.
Okay, so this is a biggie. It's estimated that emissions from the entire global food system, from production to landfill or compost, equates to 30% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. That's according to a new study that wanted to look at something called food miles. With growing demand for diverse food products and a growing population, transportation has emerged as a key link in worldwide food supply chains. This recent study published in Nature Food estimates the carbon footprint of food miles using a global accounting framework. So basically, food miles are based on the distance traveled by food items from production to consumption to indicate environmental impact. Straightforward, but really important when assessing the carbon footprint of different kinds of foods, especially those imported to faraway places, aka fruit in the middle of our Canadian winters, ones that aren't grown in greenhouses. But until now, there are only a few selected food items that have undergone this type of analysis. It takes a large amount of data to model all food types. So this study provides a comprehensive estimate of the carbon footprint of food miles using this global framework. So they input countries of origin, destination countries, transport distances, and food commodity masses. What they found when they put all the pieces of the puzzle together is that transport of food actually accounts for 19% of total food system emissions. The transport of fruit and veggies specifically contributes to 36% of food mile emissions, around twice the amount of greenhouse gas released during the production of fruit and veggies. When it comes to implementing the climate solutions that are readily available, so much of the problem is having a complete picture. And now you're science smart. If you have a science question on your mind, send me an email and I'll try to get it answered.
Johanna, thank you so much. And welcome back to Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. Are you ready to get your hands dirty? We are about to dig into something absolutely delicious, and it's called Kamayan. And in the Philippines, the Tagalog word refers to eating with your hands. And what better time to show the dish than during Filipino Heritage Month? And co-owner of Kulinarya Filipino Eatery, Rose Samaniego, is here with us to show us what this is all about. Rose, hello and welcome to Our Vancouver.
Hi, Gloria. Thank you for having us.
This looks like a feast that you have laid out here. Why don't you tell us about the origin of this dish?
Well, Kamayan started with this thing called boodle fight. It's a military, in the Philippines, the military would eat and lay all the food on a long table filled with food, and you just dump it. Can you imagine having all these hungry soldiers eating and grabbing, right? So the boodle fight is also called Kamayan. Kamayan is sort of a level up way of serving this type of food.
Yeah, well, look at your natural plates here. What have you got it all laid out on?
Yeah, this is banana leaves that we grill before laying them all down, just to, give the flavor and aroma and to give it its natural oil.
Well, again, I'm wishing people could get some of the aromas that this beautiful spread is emitting here today. Why don't you take us through a little bit about what you've got laid out? What's that at the very end?
Oh, this is actually dessert. So that's what Kamayan is. Anything goes, right?
Okay.
You can put from dessert, appetizer, the main dish, anything and everything. So there's the best way to put it is just have everything from all sorts of protein, all sorts of seafood, and put them all together.
It's all about color. There's fruits and color and texture.
Yeah, and texture,
so
absolutely.
Is there a particular occasion when you would share this?
Yes, normally special occasions like birthdays and weddings. Weddings, can you imagine eating with your hands at weddings? But it's But it's really, you know, fiestas.
Yes.
Yeah. And normally by the beach where there's freshly caught seafood, you just grill it and lay it on on the table.
Okay,
with it,
so we've got grilled seafood. And I see there's something here. This is a grilled fish. What are we looking at
It's
here?
actually fried. That's daing na bangos. Bangos is baby bangos, like the baby bangos is. There's a bigger version, but yeah, that
Okay,
one
I'm not going to pick up everything. I won't do it. But plantain, is that?
Plantain, bananas, some fruits to cleanse the palate.
Right.
And then
what
on
about
the
in these little-
sides, that's eggplant.
Eggplant?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
beautiful.
Like, it's
And this looks a little bit spicy.
that's achara. That's actually a side dish that you eat with like fish.
Now this looks like this looks like a stew. What have you got here in the middle?
Yes, this is called caldereta. It's beef stew in tomato-based sauce.
And you're even eating that with your hands.
Yes.
Okay, you're going to take me through this in a minute. I'm completely intrigued. Okay,
Yes.
and then what's next
And then
to that?
this is grilled squid.
Oh, beautiful.
With some stuffed vegetables.
The beef, the grilled squid.
Yeah,
Next
this
to
is
it,
chicken adobo, very traditional. You always have to have adobo.
Beautiful.
And then some vegetables, which is my favorite dish. It's ginataang kalabasa, which is squash with coconut milk.
Oh, I love that. Now,
Yeah.
what have you? Where are you going to cut up for us here?
This is called crispy pata. It's pork hock. So I'm just going to show you. This is also part of the Kamayan. We're just going to chop it up and put it there. Anywhere, basically.
Look at that. Beautiful.
The main thing is where everyone can grab and yeah.
I love it.
As long as you wash your hands, then anything goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that would be the essential, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Now, when we're talking about Filipino Heritage Month, what does that mean to you? Because we have a large Filipino community here in Metro Vancouver.
It means community and family, and immigrants, I'd say, right? Us being here in Canada, it's a big thing for us.
Yeah. So are there celebrations throughout the month, or is just is it time
there
for
are
all
different. Yeah, we've actually joined quite a few. There are a few like fiesta celebration. So it's always about food, always about food, always about eating, right? That's how we show our love.
Well, I think that's a very good thing. Okay, you've got a big chunk of bone. I'm just looking at what.
Just the bone.
Okay, just throw it on the
just
pile.
for people to easily.
Okay, you just might make it bite-sized pieces, or not. Yeah, I guess it is bite-sized. Rose, I am so intrigued. How do we begin to tackle this with our hands?
So you start with rice normally.
Okay, you show me. You show me. Okay, there's the.
I'm just going to put this. This is the best part.
Okay.
So there's that.
Oh my goodness, I might be going in for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Trying to think of something bite-sized to tackle it first. Okay.
Okay. So there's that.
Good enough. Good enough.
All right.
You got that. Now you
I'm
show.
just gonna
Okay, there. Oh, I see. Look, the skin on top.
That's the best part. Okay.
The crunchy part.
All right.
Okay. We got to get in close. Where are we going to start? With the rice over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can start anywhere. So
Okay.
you just have to grab a little piece.
Okay, wait a
form
second. Let's
sort
look
of
at-
a ball.
Make a little rice
Like
ball.
A golf. Yeah. A
Okay,
golf
so you want that
ball,
to kind of be
sort
pushed in a little bit hard, so that's going to kind of hold its texture, so it's not going to fall. Okay.
So you can either eat it first, or you can grab something like.
Well, that you don't want to eat just the plain rice with all of this laid out in front of you, do you? That would be a little bit of a. What are you
But
grabbing?
can-
Your
so I'm
favorite?
grabbing the squash.
Okay.
And then just.
I don't know. I'm going to grab this piece of. I
Yeah.
think it's what you just cut. So would that
Okay.
be it? Do you like? What about all the
And then,
spices?
of course,
and things?
all
Okay.
these sauces
Okay.
are meant to sort of.
What would you put with this? With the pork?
This is vinegar. So you just
a little bit of that.
actually
Just
what that's for.
That's
yeah?
all happening in my hand.
And then, so,
are we going to do it? Cheers!
Sure.
Cheers to you. I love this
All
idea.
right.
That is delicious. But conceivably, there could be 10 people crammed around this table, and everybody eating and talking. What's that like?
It's amazing. It's for me.
We both have our mouth full. Trying to have an interview while we're...
Kamayan is all about trust, right? So imagine like having a long table. This is small, actually. This is for 3 people.
No. Oh my goodness. We're going to be here for a while.
So imagine it's a long table. You're sort of passing the food to another person, right? So
I love this.
It's
I'm
all
gonna
about
make another-
trust.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
right?
Sharing. Sharing and trust and community.
Yeah, very,
I love
very
that.
communal.
You know, for Filipino
And then-
Heritage Month, it made me think when I was in Prince Rupert, my grade 4 teacher was Mrs. Singh from the Philippines. And she taught us some Filipino songs. And I remember one of the, I don't know why this comes back from grade 4, but it's Bahay kubu na hitmanti, ahalamanduong nai sari sari. You know it. You're singing it.
Kamas at talong.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I know, that's right. My nipa hut is very small, but the food that we grow, it feeds us all.
Yes.
Doesn't that kind of work in with
That's
this?
exactly what Kamayan
particular-
is.
Listen, let's take another mouthful. Rose, thank you so much for coming in. I hope you
are
enjoy the
welcome.
celebration with friends, with family, and thank you so much for letting me eat with my hands. What a treat. Take good care. Cheers.
Thank you.
If you'd like to see some live music, instrumental band from Toronto, Bad Bad Not Good, plays the Queen Elizabeth Theatre June 29th.
Oh my God, I woke up with a snake tattoo. Oh my God, and I think that my tongue's pierced too.
And Canadian singer Amanda Marshall is back, also playing at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre July 3rd.
Hey, Grant Lawrence from CBC Music here with big news for music teachers, librarians, community leaders, students, and anyone involved in teaching music to kids in Canada. We have revealed the official song list for the 2023 Canadian Music Class Challenge, which officially launches in the fall, but we wanted to catch you before you wrapped up the school year and headed into summer vacation. But first, what is the Canadian Music Class Challenge? Have a look.
So the initial idea was to be there for kids while they were learning music.
We also wanted to make sure that Canadian music was being learned in the class.
And we wanted to shine the light on music teachers. They work day in and day out with our kids, and they don't get enough attention. But we most strongly believe that learning music is an essential part of a balanced education.
Making music in a group is the ultimate lesson in teamwork and coming out of your shell and finding your own voice.
So all teachers and students have to do is pick a song from our list at cbc.ca/music class, learn the song, take a video of the live or produced performance, and send it to us for a chance to win a bunch of great prizes, including thousands of dollars in new music equipment for your school, community, private program, or library, plus an awesome plaque for your trophy case. So how about the songs that you can choose from this year? Take a look.
I'm running out of patience. I wanna be a great one. And when the spirit calls me, I wanna throw my hands up, ready to be saved. Yeah. And when my day's done, I hope I die faded.
I'm a long way from home. Love is my loved one's soul. In the early morning rain, with no place to go.
I need you to be solid. Promise, promise that you won't bend or break. Promise to me that you'll stay, babe. I wanna buy you pretty little things and never ever lie to you. Watch you get dressed and compliment your taste. I'd be
Oh yeah, there you go. Just a sampling of the amazing cross-section of Canadian songs that students and teachers can choose to learn for this year's Canadian Music Class Challenge. And yes, that was Steppenwolf with one of the all-time great rock songs there, Born to Be Wild, from the Easy Rider soundtrack from 1969. The members of Steppenwolf, trivia fans, from Waterloo, Ontario. Other artists with songs on the list include Digging Roots, Sloan, Tyler Shaw, Charlotte Diamond, Ariane Waugh, and many others. Check it out for yourself, cbc.ca/music class. The official registration for the Canadian Music Class Challenge begins in late August, and with a list like this, it's going to be a great season. I'm Grant Lawrence from CBC Music. Keep music education alive, and I'll check in with you again soon.
2 BC artists have been teaching students about artificial intelligence, using written prompts to create art inspired by the work of great Canadian artist Jean-Paul Riopelle. And their creations can now be seen at the Malahat Skyway on Vancouver Island.
It's just the ingenuity of the students.
When Juan and I first learned about Jean-Paul Riopelle's 100th anniversary, we got so excited. We just were dazzled by this French-Canadian artist who was such a rebel. He was so forward-thinking. He was so experimental that the two of us were like, we have to do something with AI. It was just the right amount of looking forward into the future, dash of controversy, but also really accessible. We really prioritize youth and young people being able to participate easily in this project, and AI really accomplishes that. All you have to do is string together some words, pop it into Midjourney, and you can really see what you're thinking in your head.
So Midjourney is one of this software that has been developed in order to generate images using artificial intelligence. And they have trained this machine learning algorithm to understand the language that people are putting in as their prompts. And then from that, it starts creating something that kind of represents that based on all the sources of images that they have. We can tell it to paint something in the style of a particular painter. And when we heard about Riopelle, one of the things that he did was painting without thinking, letting your body do all the painting. And the connection was, well, that's kind of how AI paints. It really paints without thinking. It's just trying to guesstimate what your prompt might look like. But we are putting the humans ahead of the AI. The collaboration, working together to develop something in groups is what we wanted to focus on. So during our workshops, we actually show an image to our students and we say, let's try to break this image down visually and then write it down so the AI can replicate it. So we go through a series of steps where we say, okay, what kind of medium is it? Is it oil painting? Is it an illustration? What color is the background? And they actually start getting the image being replicated by AI.
I'm trying to figure it out.
The youth group wanted to do something with race cars, which was perfect because Jean-Paul Riopelle loved fast cars. So we developed a prompt that has Hot Wheels. In the style of Jean-Paul Riopelle, it definitely gave us something very abstract, very textured.
So the students of France and Kelsey, a lot of them they're very socially conscious. So we wanted to incorporate that, and they actually came out with this beautiful prompt of half the earth on fire and half not on fire. Which nowadays is a very something that we suffer here in Victoria and BC all the time.
Coming up, a local Punjabi rapper and comedian gets serious about having fun. Hi, welcome back to Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. Well, he is an influencer, comedian, artist, and singer. He had a world-famous single talking about driving his red car in different cities around the world. I'm talking about Babu Singh, also known as Babulicious. Radio host Jason D'Souza caught up with the YouTube star on CBC's afternoon show On the Coast.
Claus meri beti nu vadiya gift lahu please. Stockings vich nikki nikki cheejan pa de.
It's all kind of one weird flow of I guess, creativity. So like sometimes through comedy, there was a comedy singing album that we did, just Rain and I. It was a Punjabi Christmas album called Geeta Brothers. So it's like a weird like web of like, if you like comedy, somehow music can come into that, and then somehow art can come into that, and then I kind of just got to the music part, you know? It's a little weird journey. It was all just out of fun, and I don't think there's any like specific or particular goal that, hey, we need to, in order to do this, we'll do well. It was just something, I think when we were younger, we just enjoyed comedy and wanted to do skits and wanted to figure out how to do it. And then I think, to show as many people as possible, YouTube, you know, being free and everything just was the best way to get to people. I don't know. It was just like a fun time. And I mean, creating content and whatever is just fun. And I think it's just, again, like a stream of just like how to be silly, how to have fun, and how do you just share that, you know?
And what do you think it is about your content specifically that has attracted so many people to it?
I don't know. I think it just connect to like a lot of the characters and a lot of the people that we base our thing are kind of real people or people we observe. And I feel like, you know, those kind of people are very common around the world, and it's just easy to play off those kind of characters, and you'll see them, like people say, oh, my uncle is just like that, or I have a cousin just like that. And, you know, it's fun to just, you know.
I have to tell you, I always loved watching your videos with you, Just Rain, and there was something I think that hit in a way that a lot of, especially second generation Canadians, people who, you know, had a foot in both worlds could relate to, that felt niche, but it felt like you were seen. Does that make sense?
No, 100%. I think that's been the goal for everything a little bit. And it's kind of, how do you continuously learn your own culture again? And through like a Western lens, right? So even like some of the language or like the like cultural things that I may not know, I'll ask my mom, and okay, cool, that's really great. Let me bring that into my world now and see how I can share it. You know what I mean? That's kind of been like this weird puzzle that you can continuously, a never-ending puzzle essentially.
You know, we're kind of talking about this trajectory and how everyone's kind of you know, followed your journey, but I wonder how you've seen it change.
I think it, well, I always like to say that there's like kind of been two fans. There's people who knew me as Babu from like the comedy and like things before the song, like Kulinarya Challenger, and then after the song, people start calling me Babulicious now. So like, it's just like the more you create, the more eyes you have on you, and people will know you from like different things. Some people might know you from like the very beginning. Some people may know you only from the song, or like, you know, just from like even a skit that I don't even remember doing. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. It's a fun way to connect with people, and I don't know. It's beautiful to be out here, you know. It's just fun, amazing. Everybody's beautiful people everywhere, you know.
You mentioned your song a moment ago, Kulinarya Challenger. For anyone not familiar with it, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Kulinarya Challenger is a Punjabi song that kind of came from a source of like a parody song, and it's about the love of a Dodge Challenger in the color of red, and how that's a vehicle for metaphorically, it's a vehicle for having fun and celebrating life.
I understand there's a kind of a rather hilarious story behind the making of it.
Yeah, so actually I was picking up my friends. They live in Brampton, and I was picking them up, they're brothers, and they were just taking a long time to come out. And I was just waiting out in their driveway, and their neighbor happened to have that car, a red Dodge Challenger. And I was just sitting looking at it, and I was just, I don't know, you know, just talking to myself or singing to myself or whatever it was, and that kind of melody came. And I just recorded it and put it on Instagram. And then people were like, oh, this is so funny. Post it. I want to share it. Make a song. This is this. And I didn't really think much of it then. And then actually I came to Surrey, and then I made a similar video where I said, Surrey Vicha Munda Rainda, and the car I referenced was a white pickup truck, because there's a lot of pickup trucks here. So, and then that did well. And then I did in New York, and I referenced a yellow taxi cab, and then from there I'm like, all right, this song has to come into existence now.
Vin Diesel vangu gaddi mein rakhi. I don't have friends, I got fame. Too fast
guy's too furious. I got family, I don't got friend on. Then the what I get is out of it that ain't
Coming up, Selling Sunset stars get front row seats to Vancouver's own real estate drama. Hi, welcome back to Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. Now, season 6 of the Netflix show Selling Sunset just came out last month. So the series follows the trials and tribulations of a real estate brokerage on LA's Sunset Boulevard. So 2 stars of the show spoke with Catherine Marlow on CBC's afternoon radio program On the Coast.
Just the insanity going on, and there's no one to talk to because everyone's just like going at each other. It's just chaos.
The show is a hit, right? 6 seasons out, one of the top shows on Netflix. And Mary, you and Jason are stars of this show, but you also have day jobs. You are selling real estate around Los Angeles. How much of what we see is an actual reflection of what it's like in your office?
Oh, that's just a portion of it. They actually cut out a lot of the real estate that we do just because there's only so much time on the show. But we do a lot more selling and working with clients than what you guys actually see. So it's pretty busy.
Is there less drama than we see too?
Somehow the cameras do amp it up a bit. I really don't know how it happens. I don't feel like it happens with me, but it definitely happens.
Yeah, I would say the show cuts out the mundane. Nobody wants to watch the mundane. Luckily, in the real world, obviously, no one could survive if drama was 24/7 like that.
You probably also just have like a bunch of boring meetings like the rest of us.
We have we have plenty of boring meetings. Thanks, Jay.
You've got several offices, mostly in California, but you also have one in Mexico. Could you see an expansion to Vancouver?
I've been asked that question. I could see it. Yeah, the difficulty is I like to be very hands-on, and it's about 5.5 hours door to door for me. So potentially.
Okay, but you're not sold on it quite yet.
I just opened in San Diego and Newport Beach. So I want to take it slow. I want to develop those offices before I start going, spread myself too thin. So we went to dinner last night. Then a couple of the gentlemen asked us to go see some property today. One of them is trying to sell a couple of penthouses. So we went this morning at 9 a.m. and saw 2 $25 million penthouses and gave our comments. And, everyone thinks that their city's more expensive or too expensive. Honestly, Vancouver is more expensive than LA. We realize that today. It is significantly more expensive.
At least the condo market.
The show, of course, is still going strong. Season 6 just out. Will you guys miss it when it's gone?
Probably. I don't know. It depends how long it goes. I mean, by then we might be like, oh my God, get me out of here. But for right now, I think we're both very, very happy. We're having a great time doing it, and I hope it continues.
And then hopefully, Netflix will announce subsequent seasons. We'll see. We're trying to break the record for the longest original series in the history of Netflix. If we
We're
get
almost
picked
there.
up.
Now, at the end of this program, we like to tip our hats to our talented photojournalists on staff here at CBC Vancouver. They bring us images in their artful ways to give depth and character to the stories that we cover. So here's a sampling from what they saw this past week. And that's all we've got for you for Our Vancouver for this week. I hope you can join me weekday afternoons on CBC Radio 1 for On the Coast. For now, bye-bye.